Welcome to the Bastelsaal. We are building and optimizing our workshop for over 2 years now. So lean back and let me give you an overview over our biggest projects and nicest things we built. I'm pretty sure you can get at least one great inspiration out of this video. Warm up your 3D printers, you will need them after you are done watching this video. By the way, a separate video exists nearly for all the following projects. Feel free to dive deeper in the Bastelsaal. I added links to all of the videos in the video description down below. The first thing is our bathroom. And of course, it has a French cleat wall and I attached about 100 rolls of toilet paper. They are held by custom Frenchfinity holders. I will tell you later in this video more about Frenchfinity. By the way, this is the second toilet I filled with toilet papers. In an earlier project I did this with about 200 toilet paper holders. This was while COVID and it felt like a crime when we purchased the toilet paper. Saw the cashiers talking over radio about us when they saw me and friends standing with tons of toilet paper on multiple cash registers at the same time. However, the rest of the bathroom is covered in mirror foil so you can look yourself on the head while taking a Directly next to our bathroom, we parked the by far biggest cargo bike in southern Germany. It's an Urban Aero Tender 2500 and as far as I know, they no longer produce it. For me, it's the perfect bike. I carried basically all the wood we use in our projects using this bike. I also carried all of our truck parts to the sandblasting and back and moved my whole apartment once. Whenever I park this bike at the hardware store, people bombard me with questions. Is this a bike at all? What's the maximum load of this bike? Do you need a driver license for this? Does it have a motor? Are you allowed to drive on the bike lane? By the way, the federal state of Baden-Württemberg gave us about 2,800 euros financial support to buy this cargo bike. So thanks Winfried for supporting us. Our workshop in total is separated in two sides. On the left side, we restaurate our truck built in the late 60s. To be more concrete, this is a Husa HA2. It was built only 136 times. Just hit subscribe if you want to stay on track with our restoration project. On the right side is our workshop. We have two mobile workbenches, a mobile table saw and a huge French cleat wall. In general, everything in our workshop has wheels to be able to change the layout quick and easy. All our leftover wood is stored in one of our workbenches and in this huge, also movable wood storage box. It's the second version and it offers enough space for all the leftover pieces we can't throw away. Be honest, how many leftover pieces do you currently store in your shop? The box offers plenty space for bigger pieces in the back and smaller pieces in the front. But of course, I try to throw away very small pieces since the chance that you use them again is very rare. The next big feature of our workshop is our assortment cabinet. I bought the plans from Alexandre Chapelle a few years ago and rebuilt this. The cabin offers 18 drawers and 36 boxes. In some drawers, I also use stacked boxes to get even more space. We store all the small stuff in there we use all the time like screws, dowels and nails. I still like it, but I'm a little annoyed that Alex changed its layout. So I think I will change this to Quifinity someday. Recently I had to add two boards to the sides to add more stability, since the sides began to bend a bit under their heavy load. Next, our workbenches. Currently we have 4 workbenches on the ground floor that are all identical. Their size is 2 by 1 meters and they were built using heavy beams. By the way, this workbench was one of the first things we built when we founded the Bastelsaal project back in 2022. Crazy to see the progress we made when I watched the old video again. Every workbench is on wheels, so we can adjust the layout of the workshop in a couple of minutes. We use this often to carry a workbench closer to the truck to save time in walking. Over time, we added more features to some of our workbenches. So for example, this one has a suction valve integrated to be able to sand stuff on it without having trouble with the hose. I also added a French cleat to the side to hold our table saw sliding table. Next to our French cleat wall, we have another storage for things we don't use that often. The boxes are color coded, so it's a little bit more easy to separate and find them. In our case, there are big bowls that we need when we work on a truck, or stuff like electronic parts or the soldering iron. The suitcases are also made by Alexandre Chapelle and I bought them a few years ago. It also supports the box system from Alex, but unfortunately he changed the grid size. So the boxes do not fit the old ones used in the assortment cabinet. On long term, I think I will also switch to Gridfinity, but for now I'm very happy with these boxes. I can remember the day when we upgraded our workshop to OSWAG. Oh my god, this was great. It solved so many problems. OSWAG is a universal connection system to map all your suction systems to a single-sized adapter. They made this genius hose adapter that can spin so your hose will never get drilled again. And all machines are mapped to this male adapter. That allows you to attach the female adapter with ease. Once you added matching OSWAG adapters to all your machines, you can use a single hose and you are sure it fits all of your machines. For example, we use this on our table saw, on our bandsaw, our grinder, and even our workbench has some nice OSWAG features. So I can attach a hose on this side to use it on up to 3 sides when working on the bench. Just head over to Thingiverse and search for OSWAG. The chance is high that there are already all adapters you require to equip your machines. I also have these nice valves from Freaky Components. I use them to switch the suction between the table saw, my table router and the external hose. And here to switch between the bandsaw, the miter saw and 2 grinders. This valve also supports having suction enabled for 2 devices in parallel. You can find the products from Adrian on freakycomponents.de. To store bigger stuff like oil cans, security gear or just rags and towels, Daniel, Merlin and I built those IKEA Samla shelves. The shelf on the ground floor fits 24 boxes and the one on the upper floor fits 12. Besides the fact that the shelves are also on wheels, they offer an easy and fast access for stuff we need from time to time. But when I look back, I would not do this again, since that IKEA Samla boxes are not very durable. So some of the boxes are already damaged. I think Euro boxes would be a better alternative for that. One of the major reasons why the Bastelsaal exists at all is my truck. I bought it about 4 years ago with the idea to do a frame-off restoration. That means we disassembled this truck till the last screw, just to restore every single detail and assemble it again. The goal is to have a nice camper truck we can work and travel in. I can remember the day when we started the truck to carry it to our workshop. This was great. Since then we spent a lot of time restoring the truck. We had heavy flex usage, disassembled the doors, drove the whole truck in parts to the sandblaster just using our cargo bike, decided to extend the driver cabin by 30 centimeters, fixed the brakes and put this monster back on a fresh set of tires and gave it a nice black coat. So just hit subscribe to stay up to date with our truck project. I was always dreaming of a workshop trolley, so that one day I built 3 of them just using Euro boxes. The labels on the sides are 3D printed and there's one box that also features a Gridfinity grid to store all the truck parts we have to assemble. I really like Gridfinity since the community is so huge. There's basically everything you need just available in amazing quality. By the way, the video about the trolleys is one of our best performing ones. You can find the video linked down below in the video description. And in the video itself, of course, I linked all the 3D prints I used. Another very nice feature is our 3D printing room. We built this room on our own and spent 3 full days on it. On the first day, Leah, Paul and I added the basic structure. The next day, Merlin and I built the cabinet. Still can remember the moment when the whole cabinet hung on our forklift. This was a crazy day. On the last day, I added the tables in the room and put some isolation on the walls. And I also installed a ceiling light. Also very crazy to see the development of this room from day 1 till now. There's also a playlist about the story. I just added it in the video description down below. I love this room and its noise isolating features. And I will not even remember how it was to work directly next to a 3D printer. In our upper floor is my office. For those who don't know, I'm running a software company with 9 employees called Lulububu. Lulububu? So hit me up if you need individual smartphone apps, web apps or websites. We can build everything for you. But back to our office. Our office space is 50 square meters and it's half office and half warehouse for our smaller truck parts. The office features 4 work tables that are basically variations from our workbenches of the workshop. They are very durable and offer enough space for our day job. In the center there are 2 working tables I use to plan and prepare my projects. And of course, everything is on wheels so I can readjust the layout for reasons. To build a dedicated kitchen was also a very important step to make our workshop a cozy place to be. I cannot imagine that our first kitchen was just a table. And we made tea and coffee directly next to a 3D printer that was also placed there. The kitchen features 4 drawers to store all our plates and dishes. On the recycled countertop we have our coffee machine and a dishwasher. A special feature, of course, is the big drawer on the top, since it's also organized with the assortment system from Alexander Chappelle's. I also got this paper towel dispenser here. Very nice, but of course I dream of switching to Quifinity to have even more possibilities. The most advanced table in the upper floor is my own work desk. My company is fully remote, so I don't meet my employees in real life regularly. This table has a huge monitor holder that is definitely a bit too oversized, but it works like a charm. A few months ago I also added a standing desk feature. To achieve this, I welded the frame around 2 purchased standing table feet. This took me 2 days, but the final result is crazy. I can now lift up the whole table, including all the monitors and my printer, and then just work in standing position. Funny is also that the table is movable until it is in its standing mode. As soon as you go back to sitting mode, the table will land back on its wheels. Directly attached to my work table is the basically longest drawer in the world. It has a depth of nearly 1 meter and fits all the stuff I need while I work. These are basically gums and towels. This drawer is also based on the grid system of Alexander Chappelle's. But here I printed some smaller boxes to also fill the gap between the drawer and the regular grid system. We are about to end this video, so let's hop over to our biggest project so far, Frenchfinity. Frenchfinity is a subsystem for French cleat walls that allows you to configure tool holders that perfectly match your tools. To achieve this, I constructed over 40 parametric tool holders you can add to custom tool holder blocks. The whole system is free and you can print it on your own. I'm very happy that the video about Frenchfinity is about to reach 20,000 views. I really recommend you to watch this. This is huge. And last but not least, a recommendation. As you have seen in the chapters before, we use a lot of organization systems. Started with the one from Alexander Chappelle's, and then we moved to Quifinity. And I think that's where we will stay. I love Quifinity so much, the idea behind this is great. And of course, Zach Friedman was inspired by Alexander Chappelle's and improved his idea. But that's basically the definition of innovation and the human being. At the end, Quifinity also inspired me to invent Frenchfinity. I use Quifinity in so many scenarios. Also in small IKEA assembler boxes to organize batteries and latest stuff. Definitely a big recommendation. You have to check this out. So that's it. I hope you like what we built over the years and you got some inspirations for your workshop. What do you think about our workshop? Would be great to see in the comments section, and please don't forget to subscribe. We got big plans the next months and years. Thank you. Bye bye.